Welcome back to the channel, boys and gals. It has been a minute since I've uploaded here. It's obviously been the Christmas period and New Year's sort of period there, so I took a bit of time off, and I hope you guys have had a great Christmas and New Year's as well. You can probably tell by my shoulders, it is summer here in Australia, so it's quite hot. And I'm very sunburnt. I'm just about as red as my jersey right now. So it's fair to say I had a very eventful Christmas. But I hope you guys had a great Christmas period. Today we're going to be talking about some, I guess, conspiracy theories or what people think is going to happen within Jedi Survivor. Obviously, it is now 2023 and the game is coming out this year. It's only, it's like 2.5 months away. So this, for me, is one of the most, enjoyable periods of a game. Actually, the lead up to the game is often more enjoyable than the game, if that makes sense. Even if it's a really good game, I almost have more fond memories of like leading up to it and speculating and all that kind of thing. So today we're just going to be going through the Star Wars Jedi Survivor Reddit. And I've just picked out a few little sort of theories. I haven't actually read them. I've just sort of gone through and found what people are talking about in terms of theories. And I just wanted to sort of break them down and whether I think they are, possibly going to happen, or whether I think they're dumb or whatever. We can have a bit of a laugh at some of them. Because at the end of the day, none of us actually know what's going to happen. So I thought I'd change it up and do something a little bit different. Now, before we do get into it, you guys might know that the first video that I do every year is always a shout out video. I mean, on YouTube, this is my 5th year now on YouTube. I started in 2018 and I've always done a shout out video at the start of the year just to try and help people start off on the right foot. I'm actually not going to do that this year, but I'm going to actually spread it out amongst a bunch of different videos just so that there's not one singular video that is like 10 channels to watch in 2023, because that's not really an entertaining video, if that makes sense. And so I thought instead I'll just spread them out and just do a quick shout out at the start of a couple of random videos here and there. So today I wanted to shout out to my good friend Split Screen. Some of you might have heard me refer to Split Screen as Mark. He's a very good friend of mine, and he's, in my opinion, one of the better Star Wars gaming YouTubers that there is. He deserves way more subscribers, probably deserves a lot more subs than me, to be honest, because he's been so consistent over the years. He started just before I did, I think, and pretty much that whole time, it's been, like I said, nearly 5 years now. He has just been on the grind massively, and I think his channel will eventually blow up. I just know it's going to happen. And so I always love giving Mark a shout out, because he definitely is one of the guys who deserves it. He doesn't do any clickbait type of stuff. He covers all things Star Wars gaming, and obviously with Survivor on the way, he's obviously going to be covering that as well. So for any of you who are enjoying the Star Wars gaming content or the Survivor content, and you're looking for some other channels, be sure to head to Mark's channel. I'll leave a link down in the description just to make it a bit easier to get there. Drop him a sub, give a few of his videos a watch. I'm absolutely certain you will not be disappointed. And again, keep your eyes peeled, because I'll probably do, every couple of videos I'll try and do something like this. It's always just a fun way to start the year and hopefully help everyone. I think it's just more enjoyable when everyone's growing, rather than just if my channel's growing and no one else's is. That's just not fun for me personally. So it's always fun to spread the love around a little bit. So be sure to head to Mark's channel, drop him a sub, and check out his content. But with that being said, it has been a 4-minute intro without editing, so let's not waste any more time and let's get stuck into some of these theories. Now, I've actually got the trailer up here too, because there'll be times when I want to kind of go through and reference what I'm talking about in these. You can see a few tabs up the top here. I've got a few that I've lined up, and like I said, I've actually not even read a lot of what these theories are. I just want to sort of go through and react to these as we go. So the first one here is from Face 8 Hall. This was 15 days ago, and it's obviously titled "A Big Theory for the Game." Now, it starts off saying, "I've been replaying Fallen Order for the release of Survivor, and got the secret near the crashed Venator on Zepho. The message reads Survivor, and it also points out looking in the Venator with a call opportunity where Cal talks about it. The messages talks about the Jedi Survivor, and I thought it would be cool if that Survivor was the Crossguard Saberman from the next game. Just a little theory that I have." That's pretty interesting. I have not seen anyone else say that. Just quickly, I'm also going to be going back through Fallen Order live on stream. I'm going to play the entire game on stream, not all at once, obviously, but just each week. And so I'm going to actually go and check this out, because I think that is pretty cool if they've actually alluded to the next game in the previous game. I love little Easter eggs like that when it clearly shows they're thinking ahead with the story and all that kind of thing. I do remember that crashed Venator on Zepho, sort of at the very back of the map, and it's a pretty small area, but I'm definitely going to have to go and check that out. As for what it could mean, I'm not too sure. It probably is just a little Easter egg that's pointing towards the name of the next game, and just for this exact example, it's kind of cool that they've already alluded to that. So I'm not sure if it will actually mean anything. I probably need to go and listen to what Cal actually talks about when you do that little sequence, but that is definitely interesting. I have seen some other people say that the guy with the crossguard saber, and this is exactly why I got the trailer up, this guy right here, this is the guy they're talking about. I think crossguard saber, you can see right here if I go full screen, that's the little crossguard. Now the thing with this is why I'm not sure about these theories, because I don't think that this is his saber. I think it's the other part of Cal's saber that we see the Empire has got Cal's saber in the trailer, or at least in that first trailer, like the teaser trailer that we got a while ago. We also know Cal has two sabers, whether, you know, in the first game he kind of didn't have two, it was just either one or like the double saber, but you could split them apart. So we all know Cal essentially has two sabers. So it's just kind of weird that that's the exact same hilt. It makes it feel to me as though this is the saber that we see Cal loses in the trailer, rather than this is actually a Jedi survivor that had his own saber, because this to me more looks like a bounty hunter who's using his saber. And so yeah, I'm not 100% sold on that theory from this post, but it's definitely a cool, I think that's an awesome thing that this guy found. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see. I'm going to definitely have to go and check out the little Easter egg on Zepho. Now the next theory that we've got here is something that's more a bit funny than an actual legitimate theory. And when I first read it, I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. I've read through the comments and this guy's kind of got roasted, to be honest. It was posted by someone who's now deleted their Reddit, so that kind of says all it needs to say. Just realised the guy in the Survivor trailer, so like the guy, I'm not really sure who he's alluding to, is the leader of the Haxian Brood, which I'm pretty sure he means Haxian Brood, Bounty Hunters, and the Fight Arena, Sork Tormo. So I actually looked up Sork Tormo, sorry, for those who don't know who that is. That's this guy, that's who I thought he was referring to. And yeah, I'm really not sure. I think, again, he's meaning this guy. I'm not really too sure. But if you look at the armor compared to his outfit, yeah, there's nothing there that really alludes to that. It was a cool, before I looked at the picture of this guy, because I kind of forgot what he looked like, it was a cool thought of like, oh, maybe that is actually that guy. Because I will say, to me, this guy does look like those Haxian Brood characters in the first game. He definitely has like bounty hunter vibes. I don't know if it's just because he's got a helmet. Like, I don't know. I feel like anyone with a helmet, we all just go, oh, bounty hunter. Like, that's just a pretty natural reaction for Star Wars fans. But that was my initial thought too. He looks like a Haxian Brood sort of bounty hunter. But yeah, this one definitely does not really line up for me. He doesn't look anything like this guy. And then I read through the comments and it was just, it's just people roasting him. How exactly did you come to the conclusion that it is this specific character? This guy says, you can't seriously be talking about the guy in the back to tank, right? The guy in High Republic robes, you'd have to be high off your goddamn gourd if you think that is Sork Tormo. He actually replied saying, no, the bald white guy in chair and hologram. So I think he's actually referring to the guy in this trailer. Let me pull this one up. The like Imperial Senator dude. I think that's who he means. And it's very clearly not him. No disrespect to this guy, I'm not trying to roast him too much, but yeah, I think he's saying Sork Tormo is this guy. So again, yeah, this guy's definitely, there's a lot of concept art, so concept art isn't always correct. It's just because he's white and bald, I think. But there's clearly not the same guy. So anyway, this is a bit of I almost wasn't going to throw this in, but it was pretty funny actually, just that the guy, all the comments were just like, what are you talking about? Which is, to be fair, like most theories, only one theory can be right. So the amount of theories I've said about the game, that when it launches and I've played it, I'm going to look back and be like, that was the dumbest shit I've ever said. Because at the end of the day, none of us actually know. So yeah, shouldn't be too harsh on theories because most of them are going to be wrong, but I thought this one was definitely pretty funny. Now the next conspiracy we have here, or it's not really a conspiracy, it's just a theory. This guy says, anyone have any theories on where this could be? He's obviously talking about the back to tank. That I will say, in this trailer, the like initial teaser trailer looks a lot different than the recent trailer that we got, so it kind of looks very different. I don't know if that's meant to be the case or not. Anyway, he says it doesn't seem to clearly match any locations we've already seen, even though it could be underground or something. I mean, it very much looks underground to me personally, and also doesn't seem that reminiscent of anything from the first game. The only thing that maybe looks similar is some of the things in the background to the right. Looks slightly Zephonian. I like that term, I'm gonna definitely steal that. But given the omission of the Zepho and any reference to them in the trailers, it seems unlikely that they will be heavily involved in this game. I saw a theory that this could be an unseen area of Camino that didn't get completely destroyed in the Bad Batch. That that feels a little bit like a reach to me personally. And the weeds and moss could support this if it has been submerged in water, but it seems more unlikely now that this character has anything to do with cloning, so Camino wouldn't make much sense. It'd be cool if it was a known and loved location like Camino showing up unexpectedly, but I can't think of what else it could be. And if it's a completely new location, have we seen it at all in the trailers yet or not? What do you guys think? So this guy doesn't necessarily have his own theory, he's more just asking questions, and this is definitely one of the things that I think is the biggest question about the game. Like, who is this guy? I think we do see him in the trailer. I think it's the same guy who's wearing like the High Republic looking robes, but that doesn't answer who it is. Like, who the hell is this guy? Why is he in a Bacta tank? Where is this? Like, that for me is the main question, and it is a very good question, and I think it's impossible to tell from this photo, and you know, we see it in this trailer as well. It's pretty hard to it's hard to tell anything about this, but you can kind of see what I mean. This looks a bit different than, where is it? This one. It looks a little bit different, so I don't know if it's like just because it's a trailer or what, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think this is easily one of the biggest, well, probably the single biggest question that everyone has. His whole theory, or it's not, he's actually not saying it's his theory, he said he saw a theory about Camino. I'm not too sure on that. That just sounds like it's just a stretch, because can't see anything. It could be literally, this could be on Tatooine, even though it doesn't look like it. Like, we just have no idea. What I will say is I would love that. I do agree with what he says, that it'd be cool if it was a known and loved location like Camino, so I think that would be cool as well. I know a lot of people think that's like unnecessary fan service when they just throw planets in that we know, but I personally enjoy seeing things that we already know. I think that's, for me, when I see a planet that I'm like, oh my god, we've seen that in the movies, and now I get to play on it, that is way more exciting. I really like the new planets as well, but I'm definitely not opposed to seeing planets that we already know. So this one's not so much a theory, but more I wanted to open that question up to you guys. Do you guys have any theories about who, not only who this guy is, but where he could be being held? Because obviously I think where he's being held will be an important part of the game. I personally have a feeling that this planet that we see Cal on, which I also want to say, I think this planet, even though this is like a desert looking planet, I think this planet is actually the same planet as, if I can find the area, as this planet. And I know that might sound dumb, but there's a certain section, this is the most unprofessional video that I think I've ever done actually. This part right here, look at the background, you can see these weird rock formations, and then on this desert planet where we land, we kind of see the same, it's like a weird, I don't know how to explain what it is, it's like hexagonal shaped rocks. It's hard to tell from this angle, but I do actually think this is the same planet. That pretty much the whole trailer almost takes place in this whole planet. And I do think this is going to be the planet where we find this guy. Once again, like I said, you can see those same weird rock formations in the background, and it's kind of weird that part of it looks a bit like jungle-ish and part of it looks more like a desert, but you can even see that there is greenery on this planet. So I think this is the same planet, and I personally have a feeling this is where this guy will be, just because they've shown so much of this planet. It feels important. Cal's landed here, and then it feels like there's a lot of stuff happening here. So that would be my guess, but I'm definitely keen to hear what you guys think about any theories about, yeah, where that, you know, where this Bacta tank could be and why that's so important. Now, the last one I've got here, and this is actually a couple, and I'll try and get through this pretty quickly because I've been recording for a bloody long time. I don't want this video to drag on for too long, but this guy's got a couple of theories. He says, as most people know, the man from the Bacta tank is theorized to be from the High Republic era. Here are some theories I have about this. 1, Bacta Boy is the orange saber wielder from the trailer, but with a mask on. So again, I think he's referring to this dude. It'll play that guy. I think he means that guy is that guy. He's saying that that dude is the same as that guy. I'm not sure about that. And just to double check, I mean, the guy's got 2 arms, so I can very blatantly say that that is incorrect already. We know that that guy, if it is the same guy, we know he's got 1 arm. So I think that one's already disproven, but I'll read the rest of what he says. This can link to the High Republic because the orange lightsaber is the same as Cal's blue crossguard saber later in the trailer, which I'm not sure how that even links to the High Republic, but okay. He actually says it here. Besides Kylo Ren, the only time crossguard sabers have been seen in canon is during the High Republic, which this is evidence for. Now, yeah, I can see the link there, but I disagree with that. I think this, again, I think this is just Cal's saber that this guy or the Empire have like stolen, and this bounty hunter now has it, and you maybe have to fight him to get it back. That's my theory for that. He then says number 2, Bacta Boy is another Jedi from the High Republic for the same reasons as above that. doesn't really make sense. I understand the High Republic part, but it's more like just repeating the same thing and being like, or it's someone else for the exact same reasons that I said, so I'm not sure about that one. And then his third one says, Cal kills Bacta Boy and takes his orange saber. Bacta Boy has the same crossguard saber as Cal shows at the end of the trailer. Color being blue for Cal and orange for Bacta Boy could just be Respawn's way of trying to hide what's actually going to happen in the game. We know that Cal reverts back to one blade, and also that he gets a Shoutout blade, which is new but also shorter, so can't be the other side of his split saber. I don't think he actually does get that. I've seen people theorize about that he has, essentially, you guys will know how Ahsoka's two sabers in the Clone Wars, she had one that was shorter. I think the yellow one was shorter and then the green one was regular length. That's not actually true. It looks like it at one point in the trailer, but it's actually the same length. And so yeah, this again, I don't want to sound like I'm ragging on people's theories, because I've literally had theories that dude with the red saber was Revan, so like what the fuck can I can't say much. But the whole thing with this dude, I just don't see any other way that this isn't Cal's saber, because we know this is Jaro Tapal's saber, this is his master's saber, so why would there just be an exact replica out there already? That doesn't really make sense, unless that just is part, maybe there's a big part of the story that's how Jaro Tapal got his saber, it's from someone else or something. I don't know. Like that to me just seems like a reach. I personally just think we know Cal has two sabers. He's using one here. There's another identical one here. And the chances are that in this trailer, when, in fact, I'm pretty sure it's right. Yeah, we see the Empire has his saber. So Empire has Cal's saber. Bad guy now has Cal's saber. He still has his own one. So that, to me, that's like, I'm just 100% set that that's the what's going on here, but I could be completely wrong on that, so we're gonna have to wait and see. And yeah, this one I'm not 100% sold on, I'll be honest. The top comment actually says that as well. Bacta Boy has one hand the orange lightsaber we would have has too, so I am pretty certain that this is definitely not Bacta Boy. I love that nickname is just stuck already. And then there's actually a comment here that I tend to agree with. I've just quickly given this a read. Mostly this bottom part here, the guy with the orange saber and the mask fighting Cal is in league with the Power Senator from the first trailer. These two get their hands on half of Cal's lightsaber, temporarily nerfing him and allowing for the mask guy to make it his own weapon, likely with the crossguard, or this could be the Fallen Jedi's weapon. Both would make sense. That is really what I think happens. I think Cal loses his saber somehow. This guy, well, like the Senator gets it. He maybe hires this bounty hunter, or he knows, it doesn't even have to be a bounty hunter. We don't know who this is, but he gives him the saber and tells him to hunt down Cal. This guy maybe modifies it. He looks like he's pretty techie with all these little shit going on here. Maybe he modifies it, puts the crossguard on it, and then in the trailer when we actually see Cal light this up, right, he looks kind of surprised in this point here. He's kind of like, whoa, it's got a crossguard. So maybe this is after that fight and you've got your saber back, and now because of that, that might be the sequence in the game that lets you, now you can equip your own crossguard, if that makes sense. So almost similar to how there was just a certain point in the game in Fallen Order where you could then have the double wield saber, or the double bladed saber I should say. I think there'll be a point in the game where you're like now allowed to have the crossguard, and it could be because yeah, you get in the fight with this dude and take your saber back and you realize, oh, he's got a crossguard, let me modify my own saber to be like that as well. That's probably the theory that I lean towards. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for the first video of 2023. It's been a bit of a longer one, longer than I expected, but that's always going to happen when I'm just doing reactions to random stuff without much of a plan. So I'm keen to hear what you guys think, whether you agree or disagree with any of the theories that you've seen throughout this, as well as my own little theory there about this dude. And whether you agree or disagree, I'm keen to hear if you've got your own theories about who this could be. So definitely let me know down in the comments. One last thing before I end is that 3 days from now, actually it's Sunday for me, but pretty much 3 days from when this video goes live, The Bad Batch is actually coming back, season 2, obviously. And for those who didn't know, I actually have a Patreon where I actually do live reaction, well, not live reactions, but I react to every single episode of Star Wars content that we get. And so if that does interest you guys, be sure to check the link down in the description. Head on over to the Patreon and give that a quick look. It might be something that you guys are interested in. There is a lot of Star Wars content coming this year. I think we've got Bad Batch, then Mando. I think Ahsoka's this year as well. I'm not actually too sure, but I'm pretty sure it is later in the year. And I feel like there's actually something else as well that I'm forgetting. So be sure to check that out. But with that being said, guys, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and may the Force be with you always.